Hello and welcome to part 2 of this tutorial 167 video, and on the top right of the screen I'll add a card so you can go back to the original video if you're watching this on YouTube. And in this video what I'm going to do is extend the program just to be able to apply it to radar screen, but instead of just calculating one average true range ATR, I'm going to be doing it for 3 different bar intervals on one line on the radar screen. So you can see here that I have the program that I'm going to be showing you applied, and we've got ATR1 which happens to be a 7-minute, ATR2 which is for 14-minute, and ATR3 which is for 21 minutes, and those values there have been set up as inputs. So let's just go to this format analysis technique for all symbols, and you'll see that we have ATR len stays as an input, and then int span 1, 2 and 3 determine the interval spans for each of the price series providers. And what I've done here, I've actually changed the colors a little bit for the indicator, and what I also have is the bar data, and what this is doing is plotting a value of the average true range plotted from the data from radar screen. So that's 14-minute, we know that ATR2 is based on 14 minutes, so we can compare those two values just to check that this is working properly. And of course we could change the interval of the row on radar screen as well. Okay, so let's go into the program, and what I did essentially is used a lot of the stuff that we created in tutorial 167, for example, the setup of the price series provider, etc. Now, I've done this relatively quickly and trying to keep it simple. This could have been made, I think, probably more elegant solution in terms of creating a method which would then create the price series providers. What I've done is essentially just copied the code 3 different times. So, for example, PSP1 looks pretty much like the PSP1 in tutorial 167, copied that and changed it to PSP2. So wherever it was PSP1, I put PSP2, and likewise for PSP3. The other thing that I've done, of course, is we need to make sure we've got variables here for all 3. We're putting the ATR values into variables which I've called 1, 2 and 3, and I've got ATR for the value calculated using the radar screen data. And in the PSPs they're mostly the same, apart from this one has got int span 1, PSP2 has int span 2, and probably guessed it, PSP3 has int span 3. So that's, I think, relatively straightforward. What we also need to do is make sure that we create new price series providers for each of these PSPs. Having done that, we use basically exactly the same calculation as we used in the previous program, apart from we're doing it for PSP1, PSP2, PSP and then PSP3. So obviously we need to make sure that we've got PSP1 in this syntax, and make sure that we've got PSP2 in the syntax for PSP2, and likewise for PSP3. We're now plotting 1, 2 and 3. And then we've just done this final calculation using the radar screen data, which we're plotting as plot 4 as the ATR, and then we just do that to make sure that the program is working correctly. So let me just show you, if I were to, for example, go to the interval and format symbols, all symbols, and I'm going to change it to 7, which is what we're using with PSP1. Now what we should see is this 1.4821 should match this value here, and the same for the other rows. Anyway, hopefully you'll find this useful. Again, if you're not part of the Markplex email list, then go to markplex.com, and also please subscribe to this YouTube channel or this Rumble channel, or wherever you're watching this video. Have a great day.